HWPL was founded in Korea in 2013 and is affiliated with IWPG and IPYG. Chairman Lee Man-hee, founder of HWPL, describes IWPG and IPYG as the two wings of HWPL. If you are watching this video, you've probably heard of HWPL, participating directly or indirectly in HWPL-related events, received emails, letters, or phone calls from HWPL. You probably know them only as a pure peace organization working for world peace. However, HWPL hides a surprising truth that you don't know. In this video, I'm gonna dig up the most known truth about HWPL by asking you 5 questions. 1. Who is Lee Man-hee, the founder of HWPL? In order to know what an organization does, you need to know the person who created it. We can tell who they are just by looking at their outward appearance. Suppose North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un created a peace group. Is the peace they speak of the same as the peace we are talking about? Absolutely not, because the world knows all too well that Kim Jong-un is not the peace-seeking man we know. So what about HWPL? The peace that HWPL refers to is by no means the same as the peace you know. This is because the founder of HWPL is none other than the founder of a cult called Shincheonji, which is already widely known in Korea. If there is a Korean church near you, or if you have Korean friends, ask them what Shincheonji is. Then all Koreans will immediately tell you Shincheonji is a place you should never go. Why do all Koreans say that? That's because everyone in South Korea already knows that Lee Man-hee is the leader of a cult that destroys people's lives. Lee Man-hee says that the reason he founded Shincheonji and HWPL was because of God's will. According to God's will, I founded the 12 tribes of Shincheonji Church of Jesus, the Temple of the Tabernacle of the Testimony. And according to God's will, I founded the Heavenly Culture World Peace and Restoration of Light and traveled all over the world to do the work of peace like Jesus. What then does he mean by God's will? To know what he means, you need to know how he introduced himself. Lee Man-hee says that Jesus has already returned to earth. He also says that the spirit of the second coming of Jesus is in his body. He refers to himself as the promised pastor, the one who overcomes, and the peace advocate, and says that salvation can never be attained except through him. Lee Man-hee says that there is absolutely no salvation in Christianity, and that all Christians must come to Shincheonji to be saved. Obviously, there can be no salvation in any religion other than Shincheonji. Salvation is possible only when you come to Shincheonji, where he is the promised pastor. Lee Man-hee clearly told the members there is no one in the world who can be saved except those who have gathered at the Shincheonji Church of Jesus, the Temple of the Tabernacle of the Testimony. This is also evident in his book. Today, salvation is being fulfilled, and salvation can only be obtained through the promised one who overcomes. People who deny this do not believe Jesus or his words and are controlled by the evil spirits. He also refers to himself as the new John. The Apostle John received a vision and wrote the book of Revelation, but Lee Man-hee claims he was the one who saw and heard all the visions of Revelation being fulfilled in Korea. That's why he's called New John. He says he's the only person in the world who can interpret the book of Revelation. According to his interpretation, almost all of prophecies in the book of Revelation have already been fulfilled through him in Korea, and there is only a small amount of time left before the final fulfillment. That's why he urges Shincheonji members to devote everything to God's work until all prophecies are fully fulfilled. For this reason, Shincheonji members have left their families, quit their jobs and schools, devoting their entire lives to recruitment. Even today, many Shincheonji members' families are in tears and eagerly awaiting the return of their loved ones from Shincheonji. Lee Man-hee, the founder of this cult, made a peace organization. Obviously, the peace he refers to is not the same as the peace you know. 2. What's the meaning of HWPL? HWPL stands for Heavenly Culture, World Peace, Restoration of Light. When you see this name, the first thing that catches your eye is the word World Peace. That's because it's the easiest word in the name. You will think you know exactly what world peace means. But do you think you know exactly what they mean by world peace? In fact, in order to understand what HWPL means by world peace, you must understand the meaning of heavenly culture and light surrounding this world. Because without these two things, world peace can never be achieved. On their website, they say HWPL aims to achieve world peace through the heavenly culture and restore the global community with light. What exactly is the heavenly culture they are talking about, and what is the light? First, let's think about heavenly culture. Shincheonji's heavenly culture is the material for achieving world peace. Without heavenly culture, there's no world peace. In an article titled Peace Tour Conveying Heavenly Culture, posted on March 7, 2013, Cheonji says that Africa paid attention to the heavenly culture that Chairman Lee put before them as a material that can achieve world peace. One Shincheonji member posted the contents of the past Shincheonji website on his blog. There was an explanation of what heavenly culture was. It states that the material of peace is heavenly culture, and that heavenly culture is a culture in which those who have seen and heard the heavenly things reveal the reality of the invisible words of the Bible based on the recorded Bible. To explain this as easily as possible, it is that the words in the book of Revelation were actually fulfilled in Korea through Man-hee, who saw and heard them. And it is the heavenly culture that shows the reality of the fulfillment so that it can be seen with the eyes. In a June 5, 2019 letter titled Cultural Differences Between the Era of Fulfillment of Revelation and the Previous Eras, Man-hee describes heavenly culture as the culture of the fulfilled book of Revelation. The fulfillment of the secret book of Revelation of the kingdom of heaven, which no one is heaven and earth has known, is the best culture in the world of mankind, the best culture in heaven, and the best knowledge of mankind. The culture of the fulfilled book of Revelation is the culture of trapping and imprisoning the devil, the dragon, who has ruled the world for 6,000 years, the culture of recreating the corrupt world, and the culture of heaven and the heals the nations. In other words, it is the only with the culture of the fulfilled book of Revelation that the world can be renewed. In a letter on January 7, 2019, he also said men were darkened by the image and likeness of Satan, and they didn't understand and didn't know. However, the reality of this book of Revelation is the time of the renewal of the world by heavenly culture. According to Man-hee, people have been in darkness for 6,000 years and have not realized anything. In other words, people have been trapped in ignorance of the truth of Shincheonji's words. However, in the midst of the darkness, Man-hee, the promised pastor, finally appeared, and all the prophecies of Revelation were fulfilled in Shincheonji. The heavenly culture they speak of is the culture of fulfilled revelation, the culture of Shincheonji, the best culture of mankind, and the culture of renewing the world. Therefore, from their point of view, world peace can never be achieved without the heavenly culture, which is the result of the fulfillment of the book of Revelation through Man-hee. What's important here is that the only entity that can achieve world peace through the material of heavenly culture is Man-hee, the promised pastor, and he is the light hidden in the name of HWPL. This is the second word we need to know in order to understand the meaning of HWPL. On May 4, 2023, Man-hee sent this letter to his followers. I heard that when my grandfather saw the heavens and the earth in darkness, and the heavens opened and a great light came upon my mother, he named me Light, and after I was born, he named me Man-hee, Perfect Light. He tells this story by showing the name Man-hee, which means perfect light in Chinese characters. This is not just a statement. He's saying that he is the only one who can bring world peace as a perfect light that illuminates a dark world without truth. In another letter titled, I Have Mastered the Book of Revelation, he also says that during a peace tour, people from all over the world saw the light of being with him. When I went abroad on a peace tour, 5 times people from all over the world saw the light above me, let me know, and took a commemorative photo with me. Even though I didn't know it, people saw the light was with me. God is light and life. Jesus came into the world as a light. The light is with me, so that I know that God and Jesus, who are light, are with me. After all, light refers to Man-hee himself, and that light is the subject of changing the world through the material of culture of fulfilled revelation, which is the heavenly culture. So on May 27, 2018, Man-hee explains the meaning of HWPL is to change the world into light, life, through the culture of heaven. What we notice here is that he rewrites light as life. In other words, Man-hee himself becomes the subject of life. According to him, he is the tree of life, and only through the word that comes out through his mouth can all people obtain eternal life. If we summarize the meaning of the word HWPL again so that everyone can understand it based on what we have seen so far, the name Heavenly Culture, World Peace, Restoration of Light means that only Chairman Man-hee, who is the only light in a dark world in the midst of untruth and who is the provider of life, can realize world peace by using the material of heavenly culture, that is, the culture of fulfillment of revelation, that all the words of revelation are fulfilled only in Shincheonji. World peace that HWPL refers to is absolutely not the concept of an ideal state in which happiness, freedom, and peace are guaranteed among all people and nations on earth, but it is a concept that can be achieved only when a religious integration is achieved, in which all people around the world accept the reality of the Book of Revelation fulfilled in Shincheonji through the promised Pastor Man-hee. So, what kind of organization should we define HWPL as now? Are they a religious organization, or are they purely a peace organization? 3. Is HWPL a religious organization? In the FAQ section of the HWPL website, there is a question, is HWPL a religious organization? And they define themselves this way. HWPL is solely a peace organization that transcends religion, working with the principles and visions of peace. It does not support any specific religion. Can we really talk about HWPL and Shincheonji apart? Absolutely not. This is because, as we have seen, the peace pursued by HWPL is in line with the goal of religious integration pursued by Shincheonji. On December 31st, 2020, Man-hee wrote a letter titled The Beginning and Today of the Shincheonji Church of Jesus, the Temple of the Tabernacle of Testimony, in which he explains HWPL as one of the many reasons why Shincheonji has been able to develop by leaps and bounds. At this time, March 14th, 1984, was announced as the anniversary of our founding. I traveled all over the country to hold meetings, set up churches in various places, and established 12 tribes, and appointed 12 tribe leaders. The 12 tribes took charge of the area and preached it, and the 12,000 people in each tribe quickly filled up. Not only this, I founded the peace organization HWPL and became a peace advocate, holding a global peace movement and the World Peace Summit. Thus, the whole world became one with HWPL. Political, social, and religious works have become one with We Are One. Shincheonji has made leaps and bounds around the world. Also, Man-hee sometimes associates HWPL with salvation. This letter was written by him on January 25th, 2021. This is a word in response to today's Shincheonji and HWPL. Would you believe it? Those who are ignorant of the Bible are no different from the dead. There is salvation only when you realize the promises and believe in them. In addition, in his February 3rd, 2021 letter titled The Reality of the New Covenant at the Second Coming of the Lord, he boasted of HWPL as Shincheonji's greatest achievement. HWPL, a global peace organization, has been promoting public interest recognized by the United Nations, such as holding the World Peace Summit to build a world of peace through the great integration of religions, and enacting and promulgating Article 10, Paragraph 38 of the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, DPCW, for the enactment for the international law for peace. Thus, Shincheonji has done the greatest public work of mankind, both spiritually and physically. On March 11, 2021, in a letter titled 38 Years of Revelation Testimony, the Meaning of Prophecy and the Reality of Fulfillment, he more clearly states that God, Jesus, and the heavenly host are together in Shincheonji and HWPL, and that the kingdom of heaven and eternal life that he speaks of are together in these two organizations. God, Jesus, and the host of heaven are together in Shincheonji and HWPL to fulfill the prophecies promised by God and Jesus, and a new nation of promises is being born. The whole world will become one family in God with a heavenly culture, and together they will achieve a world peace and live with God forever in heaven. Above all, in the letter he sent on March 11, 2019 titled To the Shincheonji Family, he clearly and unequivocally reveals that HWPL and Shincheonji are one. To the Shincheonji family, HWPL Women's Group, SMV, Cheonji-ilbo, and the International Department are all there to complete Shincheonji. The saints who didn't bear fruits this year will regret it for a long time. The whole world has come to know that God, Jesus, and the Word of the beginning, which is power, life, and light, are in Shincheonji. Those who don't know this are not true believers, and they are ignorant of the Bible. The whole world is in HWPL, and HWPL is in Shincheonji. He says the whole world is in HWPL, and HWPL is in Shincheonji. Nevertheless, can you really say that HWPL is not a religious organization? HWPL says it is a peace organization and does not support any specific religion. However, Man-hee continues to instill to Shincheonji members that HWPL is no different from Shincheonji. If Shincheonji has nothing to do with HWPL, then why does he always talk about HWPL to Shincheonji members? 4. Are HWPL members and Shincheonji members different people? Before answering this question, it would be a good idea to share a picture first. The hat and tracksuit in this photo were handed to me by a former Shincheonji member who had been active in Shincheonji for a long time. He used this when he was inside Shincheonji. Funnily enough, the hat has the logo of Zion Christian Mission Center of Shincheonji on it, and the logo of HWPL is on the top of the tracksuit. Was this ex-member a Shincheonji member? Or was he a member of HWPL? There is no need to ask Shincheonji members this question because every Shincheonji member knows that all HWPL members are Shincheonji members. Shincheonji Chairman Man-hee is the chairman of HWPL. The head instructor of LA Shincheonji is the representative of HWPL in LA. The head instructor of New York Shincheonji is the representative of HWPL in New York. And the head instructor of Chicago Shincheonji is the representative of HWPL in Chicago. HWPL's Peace Walk, which takes place around the world in May every year, is organized by Shincheonji members in the area. And Shincheonji members are also the ones who prepare for and attend HWPL conferences that are held from time to time. The people who run and assist in the HWPL World Office, which is held from time to time around the world, are all local Shincheonji members. And the HWPL members who give a big welcome when HWPL figures arrive at the airport for HWPL events are all local Shincheonji members. The people who invited the officials to the event of the World Peace Summit in Korea, which was held on a large scale, and who helped interpret the people, were all Shincheonji members. Except for the invited guests from all over the world, all the people who prepare for the event and perform are Shincheonji members. If you are not a Shincheonji member, you cannot even enter the venue. HWPL is not a pure peace organization where peace-loving young people come together to do volunteer work. HWPL is an organization run by Shincheonji members who belong to all Shincheonji churches around the world, all of whom believe in Man-hee as the promised pastor revealed in the fulfillment of the Book of Revelation, and believe that Shincheonji is the only organization that can receive salvation. If you have ever been invited to an event by HWPL members, exchanged letters or emails with them, or worked with them in any form, you have been taken advantage of by Shincheonji members who are working to achieve Shincheonji's goal. But perhaps you are asking yourself this question: why on earth do they need me? 5. Why does HWPL need you? There are two reasons why HWPL wants you. It's propaganda and recruitment. If you are a former or current president, a former or current politician, a journalist, a religious person, a representative of a peace organization, or any other influential person, HWPL asks you to write a letter of support for HWPL, invites you to sign an MOU, or they want to take a picture with you, or even invite you as an important guest at their event. Depending on your social status, they may be happy to provide you with plane tickets, accommodation, interpreters, travel, gift, etc. Then, perhaps you will participate in the event with joy, feeling proud to share in world peace. However, they are people with their own purpose. This is because, as mentioned earlier, they are Shincheonji members. Why do they spend a lot of money to invite you and welcome you? You may feel bad when you hear this, but they do this because you can be useful for their propaganda. Shincheonji members look at the photos that Lee Man-hee took with you, the letters you sent, and the event you attended, and they feel that the nations have really been revived through the promised pastor, and that the day of fulfillment of the book of Revelation is really just around the corner. You are being used as a propaganda tool to strengthen the faith of Shincheonji members and to discourage them from leaving Shincheonji even more. Shincheonji may also make you a target for recruitment. Before the pandemic, Shincheonji hosted a massive global conference inviting people from all over the world. What was the purpose of Lee Man-hee spending so much money to hold such a universal conference? In his letter to the members on June 28, 2021, titled To the Saints of the 12 Tribes of Shincheonji, the purpose of the event is very clear. Shincheonji's purpose has not changed, as it promised to God and all the people of the world at the time of the World Peace Summit to invite religious leaders from all over the world to the Gosong Peace Training Institute to teach them the Book of Revelation of the New Covenant and to teach it to their own countries. In 2017, Shincheonji held what was called the New Covenant Test for the whole members. There was a question from Revelation 15. Who are the all nations that come and worship? When did they come? To where do they come? The answer to who are the all nations that come and worship, when did they come, was the guest of the World Peace Summit. And the answer to where do they come was the temple of the Tabernacle of Testimony, where there is the one who overcomes. If you were invited to attend the World Peace Summit organized by HWPL, you were not attending a festival with peace-loving people from all over the world, but you were attending an event of a cult called Shincheonji, where you worship the Korean man who referred to himself as the one who overcomes, Lee Man-hee. You probably never ever imagined all of this. Lee Man-hee raises his hand at every Shincheonji event and shouts, "We are one." And if you've ever attended a HWPL event, you've probably shouted, "We are one," along with Shincheonji members who are also in attendance. However, when you attend the event or shout, "We are one," you should already have a clear idea of what they mean by being one. This is because "we are one" doesn't mean that the world should become one peacefully, but that all the world should be united by Shincheonji. Shincheonji invites you to the kingdom of Shincheonji through HWPL. If you accept the invitation, you will become the protagonist of the religious integration that Shincheonji seeks by participating in the culture of fulfillment of Revelation, the heavenly culture made by Lee Man-hee, the promised pastor, who is the subject of light and life. However, if you refuse the invitation, you are a betrayer who rejects world peace, which is the religious integration by Shincheonji. Today, the era of Shincheonji is the era of the new heaven and earth, the era of new kingdom and the new people, and the era of New Jerusalem. This is the fulfillment of Shincheonji through the restoration of world peace and liberation of heavenly culture. Those who oppose this are those in whom the God of the rebels works, not the God of God. Shincheonji is the kingdom of heaven, the nation of heaven, and the new kingdom of God.